Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Bufnagle the podcast, where we explore entertaining and enlightening discussions of the adventure of life and all things good. From science and technology to history and philosophy to leadership and success. We hope to give you a better understanding of the world and skills for everyone to pursue their own adventure. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bufnagle the podcast. We're talking about all things good, the pursuit of the adventure of life. I'm Zach, and we're going to be doing some reflection, some retrospecting, and some other things about 2021 as we move into 2022. However, I can't do that alone. So, as always, I'm joined by Rafe. Rafe, how are you doing today?
Zach, I am phenomenal as the new year is upon us. I am what I was last year, but better, but more. I am, what do they say? Twice as good as last time and half as good as next time, something like that. I am linear on a log scale. I am moving upward and onward. It is a great day to be doing a podcast with you. Hey, thanks to our listeners. We are still here, and we want to thank you for following us. We can be reached at bufnagle.com. Of course, all those places on the internet, you know that. Hey, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're glad you're here. Listen to, give us 4 episodes and see if you don't find something that gives you a reason to come back. We're talking about lots of different things. And remember, you tell a friend to listen, you get a free episode. And if you subscribe, and if you leave us a 5-star review, this is the best part of my week, Zach. When we get a new subscriber, leaves us a 5-star review, I get chocolate pudding, and Zach gets
Brownies?
Brownies. That's exactly right. So do that, and think of that as one of the. You know what? I'll bet you guys out there made some resolutions, and one of them was being nice and doing that sort of thing. And here's an opportunity for you to do that, and give back. What do they say? Give back, pay it backwards, pay it forwards, however you want to pay it.
Pay it forwards.
Yeah, pay it forwards. Give us the 5-star review. Get us some pudding, some brownies. And remember, we're out there wherever you need us to be. Just let us know how we can help. Zach, 2021 is in the can, as they say. 2022 has been freshly opened. I pulled off the top of 2022, and there it was, right on the inside of the cap, Zach. You know what it said? Listen to the buff. It said, listen to the buff. Right there on the inside of the cap, it did. It's like we are everywhere. We are absolutely everywhere, Zach. It is a great day to be doing a podcast.
Yes, it is. As you said, 2021 is officially over. And so if it's over, it means we get to reflect on it. We get to think back on it. We get to celebrate the good that was 2021. We did this last year with the good of 2020, especially with a year that was so, in flux and changing and difficult. And there was a lot going on. Taking the time to be reflective and be like, okay, what positives did I create? What positives did I do? What positives was I a part of that made this year memorable? There are a lot of people, and I see it a lot on my social media feeds of, oh, it's this year and this bad thing happened. And you talking about that with that mindset is not going to make it better. Yeah, it does suck. It sucks the fact that it's -5 degrees outside. There's COVID everywhere. There's a new variant that I don't know what it does. And, well, I don't get to see the people I really want to see. But the big but here is I can chase those things. I can have genuine conversations via text message. I can set up Zoom calls with my book club. I can do these things that give me life and give me value. And that positive impact I can do. And I don't necessarily need the world to shut down or to be open to do that, because it's the things I believe in and the things I am chasing that positively light me up. And for me, reflecting on those things in 2021, like we did with 2022, is a good thing to do. And that's what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, that is. It was interesting to hear you say that, because there's a lot of that out there. All right, a lot of people complaining like 2021 sucked worse than 2022, 2020. Like, okay, great. We can all lament, and we can, what do they say? The person who has the biggest complaint tends to win the argument. We're not going there. That's not going to help us. There's a lot of stuff out there. People ask me how I'm doing, and I tell you, there is. Where would you rather be? When would you rather be? Where do you want to live? Do you want to live sub-Saharan Africa 45 million years ago and get chased by hyenas and tigers? Do you want to live
But
in
if you do capture one of the hyenas or tigers, then you have a pet hyena or tiger. So
and what will it do is that? 'Cause nature wants to what?
kill you.
Nature, it wants to eat you. Yeah, that's right. Right. So you could do that, or you could live in 1850 when disease was rampant and you never knew, like life expectancy was like 40. Yeah, I mean, where would you rather? Here's the question, Zach. People have asked this: would you rather live now the way you do, just you now in your current situation, or would you like to have as much money as John D. Rockefeller, but you have to live when Rockefeller lived?
Well,
That's where you
if
have
I'm
to live.
living where Rockefeller lived, I don't have my people, and I want my people. So I'm going
That's
to
true.
live
You're gonna
where
live
I
now.
am today.
Well,
And
that's the thing. Is like look at what Rockefeller, like he was like the richest guy in the world, but he didn't even have refrigeration, right? He didn't have antibiotics. He
he
had
didn't even
world.
have Mountain Dew.
He didn't have diet dew. And you know what I got right here in front of me, Zach? I got a big K orange soda, 0 calorie. All right, so I was like, look at that. That's like a win-win. All right, 0 calorie orange soda, no crisp and clean, no caffeine, as they say, and no sugar. What a great world. Okay, and a refrigerator right over here that costs me pennies a day to keep my little sodas warm. What a wonderful thing. The technology is wonderful. But don't lose sight of the other things. It's not all just the material world. Like Zach says, keep abreast of your friends and the things that are going well for you. So, Zach, I guess there was a couple of things that happened to me this year that are kind of interesting. I got, for a long time when I was at my last job, before I took my current job, I worked alone. All right, I was the only statistician working in the company for a while, and then I got a helper lady who was wonderful, and she still is wonderful. And but I worked that job. It was just me and the other statistician. So if she couldn't answer my questions, then I didn't have anybody else to go to. I'd have to like call friend, I had to phone a friend from long ago and try to catch them, when they were not busy at their jobs. And when I moved to my new job, I was the only statistician again. And it was a couple years before we got any help. But over this last year, we've added one, two, three, four, like 4 or 5 full-time people. And it's like a little stat community, man. We got like programmer people and stat people, and so I can talk to people about like things like likelihood functions and type 1 error control and all these other ridiculously
Made up words.
yeah, these made up words, these statistically made up words. But it's a nice feeling if you have an opportunity at your job to build a relationship around something that everybody, I, at lack of a better term, that we're all experts on, right? So I don't have to, like, I mean, I work with some really smart people in other fields, but if I talk about, I can't talk about density functions and integrals and all that kind of stuff with people who are cell biologists, because that's not their realm. Their realm is liposomes and mitochondria and stuff like that. So it's a different world. But being able to live in a world, to work in a world where you live, that's a nice thing to have other people there too. So I guess you could say I got some neighbors. I got some neighbors in my stat world, and that's been overall a good thing. We have I think we all kind of get along, and people have different strengths, and that's complementary. So that's a good thing that happened to me this year.
Yeah, that is a good thing. And I think I had a very similar thing, granted different, but similar in building a community of things that you're, like-minded or, passionate about or something like that. A friend of mine started a book club that I joined, and I've kind of sort of been dubbed the second in charge, which is, quite fun for me. So
No,
like,
wait, I got to mention how great that is to be second in charge, right? Because you're not in charge, and that's a really wonderful thing to not have to be in charge. That's great.
yeah, so like if something happens where I have to like lead, I will be the one leading, but I won't necessarily always be the one front footing and saying, "Hey, we're reading to this point, we're reading this book," kind of organizing, dictating the dates and things like that. So it's my favorite leadership experience. It's like when you captain a team, but you're not like the leader of the team. You just captain the team. You're talking to the ref, and then someone else is the leader. It's like cool. I have this role. It's a fun thing, but it's a book club. We read a lot of these self development, self growth, self actualization, manifestation these mental skills type books, which is, if you've listened to this podcast enough, if you give me an inch, I'm going to take a mile and talk about this stuff for days. Or if you're my dad or my mom, you give me like a centimeter and I'm just not stopping until you like give me a brownie or something. So there's something in my mouth to prevent me from talking. But with that said, creating this community of people who are doing this work and this change and this progress to bettering ourselves and looking at, okay, cool, these are the things I want to get better at, these are the skills I'm working on, and here's these people who are reading similar books and have gone through similar experience, or they've gone through completely different experiences, but there's a parallel experience where we're like, okay, I've been down that road. And it's this collective community coming together and having people lift each other up. And like if someone's there's someone and they've had a little bit difficult family stuff, but like we've all been able to rally behind her and be like, hey, we got you. If you need something, need someone to cook you dinner, whatever it is, we're there, we'll support. One of the people had a baby, so we all did got a little maternity card and gift card thing for her family. And like it's those little things that might seem inconsequential, but they're some of the most consequential things you can do, because you're lifting people up, you're making them feel loved, you're showing them kindness, grace, and all these other unprovoked acts of kindness, which are so good and sometimes lost in society. And being part of that community for me this year has elevated me and allowed me to like kind of chase some things I wanted and to feel comfortable with who I am.
So, all right, so you're in a book club. Have you? No, the only thing I remember that you've been in a book club before that I know of was like when you were at home one summer. I was at the book club at church. We met at Friday mornings. Like the guys, when do guys meet for book club? When they're available. 6 a.m. on Friday mornings. Oh, it was terrible. But it was great guys reading good stuff. And I know you went a couple times to that. Does this when do you meet? How often do you meet? Who decides what you're going to read? Is it all online, in person? Are there donuts? What?
Oh, there are not donuts, but next time we meet in person, I'm bringing donuts. That's been discussed and confirmed. So the donuts are taken care of. But it started online via Zoom. We all read the same book. We're like, hey, we're going to read through chapter 7, whatever it is. And then, we read, we talked, we discussed like, hey, and this thing was really interesting, just genuine conversation. And the nice thing is, I think the most interesting thing about book clubs, because I've done a couple at this point now, it's you all read the same book, but by the time the day's discussion is over, you're not even talking about the book anymore, because you're talking about the shared life experiences or the parallels in life that the book gives you, and like those type of things. And it's nice to be in that type of community where people are all reading the same thing. You all have different life stories, but you can all reflect on and understand where people are at and where they're going and what they want to accomplish. And I think that's so cool and so important as a society, that we kind of get back to that a little bit more, rather than be like, oh, look, Kim Kardashian did X or Y. It's just like, well, no, my friend did this really cool thing and I'm going to celebrate them. It doesn't matter if they have 500 followers, 5 followers, no followers, 50 million followers. I want to celebrate those people. And like book club has allowed me to do that. And, we meet every other week now. Before it was every week, and it got a lot. People were busy, especially too when you're doing stuff via Zoom. I think this is something I've noticed with society as we've shifted to this Zoom culture is, yes, you are home and you have like more time, but you don't have more time because you're doing everything in the same space. So you need to be able to separate your space and what you're engaging in and doing with, so you can properly give the time that you have with people the respect it deserves.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because my life went all, I don't want to say it went all online. It went mostly online back in 2018, 2019.
2019.
I don't know. So it was before everybody else. I was online doing all sorts of. We didn't do Zoom calls. We did some other thing, and now we're on Teams. But it's a my world started that before the pandemic thing, and for me, it's a great thing to be able to work from home, because it provides that freedom of. For me, it's freedom of time. I found myself, I was always racing. I was up in the morning, get myself showered, eat breakfast while I'm driving to work. Do it. It's just I had I was the only guy at work, I think, that used the shower at work. Sometimes I would work out and then I would go directly to the office and I'd shower at the office and I would do it, it just, and I got so full of those things. And now I don't do that anymore, but I'm not less busy. It is, I don't know where it went, Zach. I don't know what I would do if I spent even a 15-minute commute every day each way. I don't know where I'd fit it in. It just feels like I got fuller. Am I doing more? Am I just doing stuff that doesn't matter? Where did all my time go?
I don't know how to answer that one, but I do know that, maybe it's okay that, the world is shifting and changing that way, but that's where we're at. And if you can still find and seek like the benefit purpose, like maybe it's allowed you to like have more time with your family, or to be able to like sit down and have like dinners at a set time or something like that. Like, that stuff matters. Like, it might not be easy to see, but like it does matter.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I guess if there's a resolution that I'm trying to do, I'm going to try to do that better, I guess. It's not really a resolution or a goal, but it's just a thought to try to be less less time locked, maybe, like focus too much on the scheduling. And I'm going to try to you know what, I'm going to schedule the things that matter. I'm going to schedule, and the other ones, they might not. I'm not going to let supper be the thing that I'm late to. I'll let I don't know.
Maybe you 15 minutes into the office late means you woke up late, but you were able to spend time with your family, or
right.
You did something that was like that plus. It was your plus moment of the day, made you 15 minutes late to work, rather than like you spending 15 extra minutes at work. You're late to something, and then you don't get the benefit of what you really want to do in life. And I think we've shifted in society that way. Like, we have gone to the point where it's like, oh, 2020 was bad, 2021 was bad. I'm going to be sad about this, rather than be like, hey, look, here's this one thing. Here's my plus moment of the day. Look, I got to work out today. Like, where else would I rather be? If you know me at all, where else would I rather be than working out? Like, and I say that every single time I get to work out. I'm like, where else would I rather be?
Well, see, I think about that now because I moved. Okay, 2021 was a year of a tremendous. The word you were looking for in the intro, Zach, was tumult.
All right. Yes, but I didn't know how to say that, so yeah. I didn't use it.
No, that's right. It's tumult because it was tumultuous. There was I had a lot of tumult. Zach, your sister had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You are now twice a funkle. Uncle?
You know what? I'm going to push back a little bit here. I am fun, and I am an uncle, and that makes me a funkle. But I am more than just a fun uncle. I am, a passionate uncle. I know I'm resilient. I'm all those other things, and I want to be known as more than just fun. And that's my goal for my two nieces. So more than fun.
Okay, I'll give you that. But you are that, okay? And that's the thing. And so I'm going to tell, like, when you're okay. So we happened to be in staying at your sister's house when she went into labor a couple days
on Labor Day.
She went on Labor Day, and she was scheduled or predicted, I guess, depending on how you do it. I mean, we can talk about all sorts of math regarding, but we're not going to do that. Okay. So there's she was scheduled for like Friday that they anticipated. That was her, I guess the term they used to use was estimated day of confinement, which kind of sounds very 18th century. But it was supposed to be Friday. And on Sunday, we were going to go to dinner, and she was like, it's not quite feeling right. And then said, well, we should better go to the hospital and get checked. And they went to the hospital Sunday evening. We skipped the dinner. We had to cancel a dinner we had planned. And next thing you know, they're in the hospital. And they said, they're going to keep us overnight. They think it'll be coming tonight. Well, they went through that. They did that. And the baby was born on Labor Day on that Monday. But your sister had a lot of bleeding, and she had a lot of bleeding. A lot. And I guess I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for modern medicine, because I think had this happened 150 years ago, we'd have a totally different story. I guess that's the only way to say it. And so there were some sutures that took place, and there were some transfusions that took place. And every time, I give blood a lot, Zach, because that's the one, like that, you know what? There's a thing you can do. You want to go do something good, go give some blood. And there are a few things that you can do that cost so little that produce so much good. You look at,
and you get like little fun snacks at the end.
I always get fruit snacks. All right, fruit snacks, cookies, and orange juice, because everybody knows that fruit snacks, cookies, and orange juice make blood in your body. That's what they do. And so you should give there you go. There's an appeal. Give some blood, because out there somewhere is somebody who needs, and right now it has become really, really difficult to give blood because there are so many restrictions on, like as far as diseases, people, if you got a tattoo, there's a reason not to get a tattoo. I mean, I don't really care.
That's actually not true. Or you can, with now more modern technology.
Yeah, but there's a delay thing. If you have a tattoo in the last 6 months, they don't want you to get it. All right, so, but there's like, let me be real clear on this. I don't care if you get a tattoo. I don't care. I don't get them. You want to get them? Why should I care? Why should you? I don't care. Right? I don't care. All right, but if you want to get one, get one. But you know what? That takes you it puts you on the bench for 6 months. All right. And there are all sorts of other things. Like if you give blood. And because it does so much good.
And we talked about this good. And I mentioned this earlier, but the idea of positively impacting someone's life in some way. I've mentioned this before as well, but I write letters to my friends, not because I like writing letters to my friends. I do, but because I want to celebrate who they are and what they've done and their accomplishments. And I want to share that the kindness I've received from them, the generosity, all of that, the friendship. I want to say that stuff to them while they're still living, because I don't want to say that at their funeral when they've never had the opportunity to hear it from me.
And that's a reason to have a get together, for no reason other than, you know what? Let's have my funeral right now, because at least I can be there. All right. That kind of thing. And you should probably do that annually. Hey, maybe on your birthday would be a good thing. Invite some people over. And if you get invited to a party, just go. Right. And if they say you don't need to bring anything, that means you don't have to bring anything. The only thing they want you to bring is you. Okay. And we talked about this. I went back and listened to one of the episodes we had recently. I think it was the Christmas special.
I believe so. Yeah.
I said, I just want you to be. I want you to be. Okay. And that's what I want about you. If I liked you because you brought me a bottle of wine when we had a party, then you know what? I don't deserve to have you as a friend if that's why I have you. All right. So get some friends, get together, all right, and have a pizza on Friday night. We used to do that, Zach, when I was a kid. It seemed like Friday nights was like the night that was like, hey, we're going out for pizza, or we're going to have a little picnic, or we're going to have a cookout, or it's like we're going to do those things. And I just can't believe we are so busy that we can't do those things. And I have people like, well, I don't know if we can get together. It's going to be so hard. It's like, come on, let's go.
We get this opportunity, and we need to celebrate these opportunities. Yeah. And I think a lot of 2021 was me doing that. Was me saying, okay, here are these people who have impacted my life in a plus way. I want to celebrate that fact with them somehow. Maybe it's the fact that, I get to work out with them. Maybe it's, I get pizza with them. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe I get all these random people from my life who have impacted me in some way, and we all go out to dinner, and half of them don't know each other. That's my favorite thing to do, because you get to bring your universe in and say, this is my universe. I don't care what friend group you were in. I don't care about those other things. I care that you know me and you have impacted my life in a plus and positive way. I want to celebrate that because I still get the chance to do it, and I'm going to take it every single time I get.
The best parties, the best get-togethers are the ones where you have that cross-pollination, right? You get somebody from church with somebody from work with somebody from the gym, right? And then you bring. It's like we had a party one time, and this guy that was with me in the stat department, he said, my parents are here from China. I was like, bring them in. And we had just a great time with them. They spoke like tiny little bits of English, but they just had a ball. All right. And we had kids there. People brought their kids and people brought their parents, and we had old people and young people and babies. And we had stuff got spilled on the floor and we cleaned it up, and it was just, and people played games, and it was just that build that. Don't make your life so damn sterile. All right, do those things. Life is messy. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is messy. Like, and messy is not a bad thing. I think everyone's like, "Oh, this is a mess," or "This is difficult," or "This is hard," and I think we've seen it more with the COVID years. COVID year, I don't know, COVID years, whatever you want to call them. But okay, like, I don't know, if you can't find an hour to get dinner with a friend, and you want to make the time for it, like it, maybe that friendship isn't as strong as you think it is, and that is what it is. But if you can find the people that benefit your life and make it better and full and allow you to chase the things you want to chase, keep them around and celebrate them. Celebrate them while you still get a chance. And this kind of goes back to like what you mentioned earlier, what I mentioned earlier. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be than with the people that make you feel alive, make you feel loved, make you feel all of those things? Be with them and then tell them how much they mean to you, because one, you have no idea what that impact is going to do. Like, you have no idea if you say, "Hey, friend, I don't know, give me a name. Thank you for doing X, Y, and Z and impacting my life in this way. I am grateful for you, and I am so thankful that you are in my life in that way. Here's a nice card about nice things I said about you, because that's who I am, so that's what I'm going to do." But like, additionally, like, maybe it's, "Hey, somebody, I know you don't have a ton of friends, but you're in my life. I care about you. Like, hey, let's get together with some of my other friends and let's do this thing, and it's gonna be fun, and I get to spend time with you, and that's great for me because I like spending time with you." And I don't know, do more of that. And I did a lot more of that in 2021 than I did in 2020. 2020 was difficult. 2021 was also difficult, but that doesn't mean it was without these moments of joy and kindness and fulfillment and love and grace and all these other things we talk about on this podcast. I sought those things out and I chased them, and I was able to bring them into my life. And where else would I rather be than with those people in those moments?
Yeah, it's a there was a lot of stuff in 2021 that you could. It's so easy to fall into those other things, and it is easy to sit home. It's easy to sit home, right? And part of it is I don't want to put my nice pants on. I don't want to have to worry about wearing the right shoes. Is my uniform?
But you know what? If you're with the right people, they don't care. So wear your sweatpants and wear your multicolored shoes.
Zach, I got to tell you, I found this like on New Year's Eve. I was watching a football game, and I was, everybody else had gone to bed, and I was looking online for the pants I want to buy, right? Which are colonial breeches. Or some people call them breeches. Some people call them breeches. Some call them braces. So it's like it's not exactly clear to me.
It's like sweatpants, but from the 1800s.
Well, they're essentially like baseball pants. Is really what they are. Okay, that's really what I want to like. Right, but I found a place in Indiana, Zach, that makes authentic colonial attire. And they make the clothes for Jamestown, I think, for the Living History Museum at Jamestown, and they're just about an hour up the road from me here, so you may see me pursuing these more fun pants that I'm interested in, so I don't have to worry about having these big heavy jeans on me all the time. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the jeans or the sweats or the dress pants and then the shoes. But you know what? Find people that doesn't matter to them. All right. Those are your people.
Yeah.
But you know what? But if you're into dressing and the fashion,
do it.
Find those people. All right. You do, like they say, you do you. All right. And as long as you're not breaking any moral laws, I think it's all good. I don't think it's a problem. I want to talk. I want to go back. Okay. So we're retrospecting on 2021. I don't want to just spend time telling people that they just have to be happy, because, some people's years were tougher than ours. But I moved, Zach, and that was tumultuous. And I want to be grateful for a couple of things. I want to be grateful. Your mother is like the greatest packing, planning, moving lady.
Better than your sister-in-law, daughter-in-law.
Okay. Well, I don't have direct experience with my daughter-in-law. Okay, in that regard. Okay, I know she is. She is very good. And I'm sure she is on the same, that they are both expert organizer, packer people. And that move was very, like, I had to only pack up on my own, and I had to pack up my workshop. And that was, I did that over the course of a day and a half. And I took, oh, that was kind of sad, Zach. But it's all ready to go. It's all stashed in my garage here, waiting for our new place. And the moving was, but the moving's bittersweet, right? You leave some things behind, you get some new things, and we're starting to meet some people here and learning new restaurants and new parks. And Zach, we just discovered they call it a splash park, and it's less than a mile, right? And it's like a park, and then they just have like fountains going all the time. Yeah, and there's water, and then there will be little kids, and it'll be funny when your niece gets a little bit older. Zach, the day you left here from visiting, from where you left me on the floor, on my back, writhing in pain, because that morning I got up and I bent over the sink to take a little sip of water out of the faucet when I awoke, and it was as if Satan himself had stabbed me from behind with 2 firing spears of mortal pain, and one on each side of my back. And Zach, I've thrown out my back a couple times. This was this was uncharted territory for me. And you left me on the floor there after helping me get to the floor. But I got to tell you, what a world we live in. Okay. And I guess there's 3 things about this that for which I'm really grateful. 1, phones. Okay. Right. And not just a phone, but like my cell phone. All right. From the floor on, right. Like, did you help me get my feet up on the chair?
Yep.
Okay, so if you've ever done this thing, one of the best places is like 90 degrees. It's called the chair position. You put your calves up on the seat of a chair. Your thighs are vertical, and the rest of you is like, it's horizontal, vertical, horizontal. It's a chair shape. Okay, so I was on that, and I called your auntie, and I talked to her about this, and she was able to prescribe me some meds, which was awesome. And so we talked about what I should do, what I need to worry about, what I need to look at. And we had gone through this a couple times before when the last time I did this, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And she helped me out. And in a matter of a couple hours, I had these meds in my body. And, Zach, I'm not without pain today. I was at about 10% capacity on Monday. And by Tuesday, I was up at like 40. And by Wednesday afternoon into Thursday, I was at 85 or 90. I'm at about 90 right now. I'm getting my socks on my own feet. I put my shoes on and tied them up today. I was able to take the dog out and clean up after the dog. That's a thing. I am so grateful for phones and modern medicine, the ability to get these meds. But mostly, I think, is I'm just so appreciative of the scientific models that aid the understanding of my back pain. I mean, there was I didn't have any thoughts that maybe there was I said Satan himself stabbed me in the back. I didn't really think that was Satan stabbing me in the back. I was pretty sure that that a little bit of a disc slipped out of its little space in between my vertebra and tapped on a nerve going down my back. And we had to reduce some inflammation. So based upon that information, we do that. We get some anti-inflammatories in there. Zip, bam, boom, a little bit of rest, a little bit of heat, a little bit of cooling. Here I am. I'm at 90%. And I didn't have to sacrifice my second born to the volcano or anything. It was great. What a great place. What a great place.
Yeah. That's good things to have.
Yeah, that's the science, man. Then that's like where would you rather be? Like Rockefeller didn't have that. He didn't have that.
Yeah.
Right. And before that, our good friend Alexander the Great, when that happened to him.
Why he died, but
Oh, did he die of back pain?
No, but he died very young of disease that we probably could prevent easily today.
Right. And there's so much of that, and I feel so blessed to live in the current time, and I think things will continue to get better. I do worry that we're getting a little bit too material focused, that we're losing touch with some of those other things, Zach, that you know are important. But the pendula swing back and forth, and we will get them all lined up.
Yeah, that's true, and I think as we retrospectively think about 2021, and it may have been difficult. I get that, and there might not be enough words to describe how difficult it was or what you went through, but know and understand that it can get better. It's just you sometimes have to take the initiative to put yourself in that position to make it better. Maybe it's you find a book club like I did. Maybe you find a gym like I did. Maybe you do these other little things to provide a little bit of joy and positive thing of the thing you want in life, and you go after it. And if I learned anything from 2021, it's that. I did these things of, I believe a lot in, self-growth, self-development, those type of things. And I began, kind of investing more time, investing more energy into that space and into my own well-being to positively impact people in that way. And in turn, I can now better understand myself, and I can help people around me, and I can do these type of things that allow me to be this kind of elevated version of myself and help people find that light in the day. And for me, if I learned anything from 2021, it's that sometimes it will be rough and it will be difficult, but you can fight through, and you can find the things that you love and enjoy and believe in, and going after them feels oh so good.
Yeah, the gym stuff that you mentioned. You know my buddy Talis back there in Franklin, Tennessee, and the great work he does with me and a bunch of other old people. Not long before I moved out, he asked me, he says, how is it going for you? What's how are you? How's the workout progressing? Are you getting out what you wanted? And I said, I'm a little bit stronger than I was. I don't think I'm any faster because I'm older, but it just seems to me like it's been a long time since I threw my back out. I said that to him probably in September or October sometime. And then I left in early November. I think the last time I was there it had been September, because October, I left in October. And I tell you, I left in October, and I haven't been working out, Zach. I have not been working out. I've gained a little bit of weight. It's been it's been 10, 12 weeks since I stopped. I threw my back out doing what? Was I rescuing a baby, Zach?
No.
Was I lifting a car?
No.
Was I chasing a bank robber down the street?
No.
I literally was bending over the sink to take a sip of water from the tap. I mean, it was excruciatingly funny and excruciatingly painful. But all right, so there's the thing, guys. If you want to work on some things, here's something you can work on in the safety and comfort of your own COVID house, and that is your core. All right, strong core makes your back pain go away, and I can attest to that. There's no substitute for strength and flexibility. So maybe that's, if you take nothing out of this one, there's one you can take out of today's episode. But there's a lot of stuff in there, Zach. Focus on making yourself better in all ways.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. As you do your own reflection of 2021, I encourage you to maybe reach out to us, find what good we provided for you, maybe what good you provided to others in life, because I've mentioned before, you never know what someone's going through. So positively impact their day in some way, and you have no idea how you could make their day. So with all that said, Rafe, do you have any final 2021 reflections as we get ready for 2022?
I want to just say one thing, because I always like to refer to something like you can say that, like, you never know how you might impact somebody. And for me, the ultimate picture of that is George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. If you haven't watched It's a Wonderful Life, you may be like, oh, it's an old movie. It's in black and white. It's all corny. It is. It's not only a Christmas movie. It's not only a great Christmas movie. It's not only probably the best Christmas movie. It might actually be the best movie, period. Right? And it is so good for you to see how your life has meaning. Right? Go read Viktor Frankl and Man's Search for Meaning. You have to have meaning, and your meaning comes through your interactions with others. Take that, embrace that, share that, grow that. And if you want to understand, it's an excellent picture of how we never realize how much we impact others. I, I don't know what else to say about this, Zach. You keep focusing on that, and it's a wonderful thing to do. If we can help you guys, let us know. Uh, for lack of a better term, Zach, we love all the listeners, and we have come to meet some new listeners, or we've come to meet some of our actual listeners. It's been as rewarding as anything I've ever done. It's a where would you rather be? I can't think of another place.
Yeah, that's a good way to end 2021. I will say for 2022, the Bufnagle and the Bufnagle family has some big things coming. So be on the lookout on the horizon for that, because, we're just getting started and we're having a lot of fun helping you, seek the good, be the good, and spread the good. I hope you all enjoy the adventure of life.